What's going on, guys? We are Tottenham TV here, and we have beaten Southampton 2-1 in Ryan Mason's first game in charge as interim boss at Tottenham Hotspur. The day started out with ENIC out protests and all that kind of stuff, but we got down to business when the 90 minutes got underway, and after a shaky first half, we came back into it, and it was a fully deserved win at the end of the day. I'm very, very happy with how we approached the game, very happy with the football we played in the second half, and I'm just delighted with Ryan Mason for getting a win in his first game.
Do you know what's really nice? That we didn't just bring on Sissoko. Try to shore up the midfield.
We weren't chasing a game with Sissoko.
Do you know what I really liked about today's game is that we grew into the game. We looked really good second half. Admittedly, Southampton dropped off a little bit and allowed us to come onto them. But even when we were a goal up in like the last 5 minutes, we were still probing and we were still pressing in their half and keeping the ball contained in their half, you know, and we haven't seen that all season from Spurs. So there's a lot of positives there. I thought Reguilon had a great game for me. Bale had a good game, as you said. One man of the match, didn't he?
Yeah, I was very impressed with Bale, and I think it was a bit of a statement in terms of some of the selections Mason did. First of all, the very attacking lineup he lined up with, 4-3-3, putting Bale straight back in, having Dyer and Toby back in the centre-back, a few things like that, kind of making a statement that that's how he wants to play. He wants to be attacking. He doesn't want to be pragmatic and these kind of things. And I think Bale, even in the first half, was definitely our brightest spark for me. I thought he was the one most likely to make something happen. But to be fair, in the first half, we were by far the second best team.
Yeah, not by that much, though, I would say. They just had a little bit. They had about 5-10% more work rate off the ball, I would say. That was the difference.
But it made
a big
difference. I felt like it made
a little bit more difference in who was winning the second ball. I would
exactly.
say. That was the difference. But you'd have to also say that the back line worked. You know, Toby and Dyer really didn't make any mistakes at all, if you were looking at it.
Although Lloris did have to be called into action a couple times.
Actually, the first minute of the game, Lloris does a double save. Admittedly, the ball comes straight at him. I don't know if you can blame that on anyone, but that was like the first minute of the game, wasn't it? It was just a
fantastic double save.
A flash start, yeah.
It was a shaky start by Spurs,
very
you've got to say, because Southampton were crowding us out. There were the game 3 or 4 men around every attacking player we had. Sonny was really struggling to get in the game. Our midfield was getting bypassed all the time. And it looked like it was like, okay, Ryan Mason hasn't been able to get this team going just yet. It looked very disjointed. But once the second half started, it all changed. Southampton tired a bit. We were able to get our foothold on the ball, able to dominate possession inside the Southampton half, get the triangles going.
Yeah, exactly.
And get all the attacking players a lot more involved, and we looked so much better in that second half.
Even the goal that was chalked off, I thought was a really good goal, and that was actually what I think was set up for that game. You know, I think it was Lo Celso at wide to Reguilon pulls it back for Son, and it was a great first time finish.
And that's how the first goal came about as well.
Yeah, and I just thought that was, for me, that was great to see, and I thought I think Reguilon was actually doing great work down the left-hand side, even in the first half where it wasn't the greatest performance from the whole team. I actually thought he was getting a lot of joy down the left-hand side. He was actually linking up well with Son, and then when Lo Celso was tucking in, they were making quite nice triangles through the midfield, actually getting a lot of freedom down that side. So that was the positive as well. But then as the second half went on, I actually thought that we grew into the game, and I actually thought I think it was fully deserved, to be honest with you. I think that we were the better side overall. And I think our second half, it was a good performance.
I think our second half, we definitely deserved it on the bait, because I think we were much better in that second half. We upped the energy levels, and I feel like we were just finding different pockets of space to ask different questions of the Southampton back line. We were making more clever runs, better passing, and we were definitely getting in more dangerous areas. And the first goal, it wasn't a surprise when it came. When Bale scored, it wasn't out of the blue. It wasn't against run of play. It was because we were suffocating Southampton. They weren't getting any joy, especially once Danny Ings went off. They weren't getting any sort of joy going forward. Shea Adams really struggled to hold up the ball, and once we were piling players forward, I thought it was only a matter of time before we scored. And I thought Gareth Bale, fine finish for his first goal, for the equaliser. It's something that he's done a few times this season. It's classic Gareth Bale, one touch, curling it into the far corner, finessing it right beyond the reach of McCarthy. And I thought that was a great finish by Bale after a good build-up play with Reguilon and Son and Lucas nearly fashioning a goal there, and it fell to Bale, and he finished it well. And then what also impressed me wasn't just the way we stepped up in the second half, but the substitutions really kept up the momentum.
Yeah, at the right time.
So Ndombele was tiring really badly. We took him off for Winks, who I thought added real good energy.
He played all right.
Passing.
I thought he was positive on the ball, Winks.
I thought he had a really good cameo, Winks. Really good cameo. He did. It was a good cameo.
It's just like, it's a good word to use. It's like a good cameo.
It was.
It's like, ta-da.
And then He takes off Lo Celso, brings on Lamela, and just after Lo Celso had set up Reguilon for the goal, and that was ruled out, but he definitely had been tiring before that.
Yeah.
And then he takes off Lo Celso, brings on Lamela, brings on even more that extra impetus, and then takes off Bell, brings on Bergwijn. And despite the goal being ruled out, which was another great team move, I felt, which Son swept home and it was ruled out for VAR.
But can I just say, there's the difference immediately with the substitutions. I can guarantee you, if that was Mourinho who'd have brought Sissoko on.
Yeah, well,
seeing that game out, he would have definitely brought Sissoko on.
It was on Seattle. We need the
but
goal.
Bringing on Bergwijn was actually a really shrewd move, because it actually adds so much more work rate off the ball, I think.
And Bale was tiring a bit as well.
Yeah, but I just think that was a clever substitution. We haven't really seen that from Mourinho this year. I think there were really clever substitutions just at the right time from Mason. So that's really, really encouraging. And
so we had VAR go against us for the goal, but then VAR goes for us for the penalty.
Yeah, but also I want to say this. When we got that goal up, and for the most second half, we pressed, man. We pressed. Mm-hmm. That's the first time I've seen us do that this season.
We didn't retreat.
All the times that we've got a goal up this season, we've sat back and we've held on to it, and ultimately our arseholes fell out, right? But that's what happens when you sit back. Like, there's only so much shit you can take before it sticks, you know what I mean? We kept probing and we kept pressing, even in the last 5 minutes of that game when we scored. That's actually that's the best line that's the first line of defence, is to attack. We did that, and they didn't look like scoring at all. I thought it was brilliant.
And we did, really and what I would say as well, yes, Lucas played up front for most of the game, but it seemed very fluid between Lucas, Son, who was going up front, who was going on the left-hand side, and we didn't. Yes, obviously you're always going to miss someone like Harry Kane, but we'd look fluid. We didn't seem to struggle without him, if you know what I meant. No, if you know what I mean, obviously you miss the quality of Kane when he's not on the pitch. It's a step up where maybe we could have got 3 or 4 goals if he was on the pitch. But in terms of how we looked in possession, and we didn't look toothless, we didn't look spineless, we looked like we could create, and that's the main thing. Because a lot of times under Mourinho, when Kane's on the pitch, it just looks awful.
With Kane on the pitch, under Mourinho, it either really works or it really doesn't work. That's the thing. Either he's the most influential player on the pitch, or he's the most anonymous player on the pitch with Kane. Mm-hmm. But today it looked as though first half was a little bit disjointed. There's a lot of plays that it kind of almost looked as though they were thrown onto the pitch for the first time. We've seen that all season long, haven't we? Where it just looks a little bit off the cuff. But then second half, they set off a little bit. They dropped into almost like a mid-block, low block. We started to come into the game a lot more. Players like Lo Celso, Reguilon, Son, Mora were interchanging really nicely, creating little triangles, creating little interplays through the midfield. And I started to think that this is if it's going to go one way, it's going to go our way.
And then obviously the goal got ruled out, which would have been deservedly taken the lead. That goal ruled out, I think, just about rightly. I think in the rules it's right. I think it's right because it is offside.
It's just not good.
It's annoying because whether Lucas is there or not, it's the keeper ain't saving it. So the keeper gets away with it because
they
Lucas
got away
is
with that.
Yeah, they got away with it. That. But then we get a penalty. Just before the 90 minutes.
I think that was a handball though as well. Just before that,
they had the handball. I have to see it again. I think it would have been harsh to give the handball, but I do think they just about got it right with the line. It was the foul just being on the line. I think they just about got that right. They gave the penalty. Southampton were not happy with it after initially the free kick was given, but I think the referee just about got it right. Son sends the keeper the wrong way, and I think Spurs deservedly take the lead and deservedly go home with 3 points. With those 3 points in Ryan Mason's first game in charge. Firstly, do you think that could lead us to some positive momentum going into the rest of the season, potentially?
Yeah, I do actually. Yeah, I do. I just think Mason coming in now is going to freshen everything up. I think there's potentially a lot of players that were feeling ostracised by Mourinho.
Who came straight back in.
Yeah, who came back in, but also other players that would have felt a little bit as though their time's up at Spurs, that are now feeling as though they've got another chance. And I think the whole morale of the team would have got a bit of a lift from that, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah.
You know, because even players like Delhi, who've been frozen out, they're now thinking, I've got a chance now. There's going to be a ripple effect of that on the whole squad, of feeling like, do you know what, this is a fresh start. We've all got a new opportunity now. We're all back together together again. So in a way that I personally think this could be a positive going into the cup final.
And with that win, we now sit 6th place, 2 points off 4th place Chelsea, and 2 points off West Ham as well, with them to play each other this weekend. So we're guaranteed to gain points, at least one of them. Does that put us back in the top 4 race?
Putting the pressure on.
Putting the pressure on FC.
I think we're going to be putting the pressure on, yeah.
With our fixtures.
We're in the mix. Look, we're in the mix. It's not over. I think we're still definitely in the mix. I think we've got a lot to do, a hell of a lot to do.
And top 4 actually matters now.
I think that we can only really afford to drop 2 points. In effect, like draw one more game, and then we've got to win the rest of the games. I think that's not beyond the realms of possibility, considering the fixtures.
And everyone else dropping points as well.
We've got quite an easy run in, I'd say, and then we've got Leicester on the final game. I think that's doable. So I think there's definitely a chance. So I think we should still carry some hope and some belief into the next few games, especially if we win the League Cup as well. I think there's going to be a lot of confidence.
I think if we win the League Cup, that will give a major boost.
Yeah. I just like the fact that Mason came out and he said, "I want us playing the Tottenham Hotspur way." That to me, he gets it. He gets what's needed at this club right now. It's gone stale, it's gone decrepit, it's gone negative, it's gone passive. We need someone to say that this isn't right, and we need to get on the front foot again. We need to start playing, the Spurs way. And
Gareth Bell credits the comeback to a very good halftime team talk by Ryan Mason. He says that's what Bell says, and I'll leave you with this. 6 times this. That is the 7th time this season Tottenham have been leading. I've been. Losing at half time. No. This is the 6th time this season Tottenham have been losing at half time. Sorry. This is the 7th time.
Take a run up, Sim.
This is the 7th time Tottenham have been losing at half time today.
Okay.
We've gone on to lose 6 of them, and today's the only time we've won.
Wow, there we go. Look at the difference in character there.
Mm-hmm.
So I noticed a different character with us, especially in the last 15-20 minutes there.
I think it's important to note there usually is a bit new manager bounce when a new manager comes in, all those things. But look, the fact that Ryan Mason's at the helm, and I'm just going to try and get some positivity
for the club. Mace the ace.
I'm very happy for Mason getting his first win. I'm very happy Tottenham just about cling on to any hopes of top 4 right now instead of it falling by the wayside. Yeah. So with the Super League over with, top 4 actually means something. Let's hope we can get there, and let's see how the season ends, and let's get some positive momentum going into the cup final.
Well, we could actually have a good season.
You never know. You never know. Top 4 of the trophy's still on. Just not under Mourinho. All right, guys. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.